Here's where I am currently on the satchel sort polystyrene ball drawing project. I did the most recent dotted circles during the late morning, early afternoon period. Initially, I thought this Sharpie marker fit with the purples, but it turns out it's more in line with the pinks slash reds. Though I'm not sure at this time if I can find a Ultrafine equivalent to the fine tip Sharpie marker I just depicted. I use that to make the most recent the dots for the most recent dotted circles. Initially to determine where to put that Sharpie marker in terms of hue from lightest to darkest. And then to confirm to myself that it was closer to being a hue of pink than a hue of purple. Yeah, my dad did a pretty good job on this steak. Though he always does a pretty good job. I recall falling asleep roughly around, sometime between 12:30 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. And then waking up around 7 p.m., I would say. I'm currently at the point where I stay up all night and fall asleep go to bed during the day, but with time I'll get back on a good sleep schedule. Around 6 in the morning, I had technically my first cup of plain coffee, though I decided to use a big sort of ceramic beer stein shaped mug for it, with the Georgia Tech logo on it. And it's much bigger than your standard coffee mug. So it was probably somewhere between 2 and 3 standard cups of coffee. And I had 2 of those. Roughly from 6 in the morning to about 9 in the morning. In the morning, I initially thought about making a double portion of instant ramen and then cutting up the 2 leftover sausage links that I ultimately had by myself around 11:30 in the morning. Cut up that sausage, microwaved it for a minute, had it with what was left of the French onion dip by the Bison brand. And with that, I had a glass of tap water, just like I'm having right now. Initially, I was going to make a double portion of instant ramen, cut up the sausage and have it put that into the instant ramen to make sausage ramen. Which I have done in the past. But I ultimately decided against it. I think primarily because the packs of instant ramen and the 2 containers of phenomenal pho, one chicken flavored, one beef flavored, those are kind of for when there's no other food available to prepare, or at least nothing and nothing else that can be prepared relatively quickly. Within minutes. Plus, I knew Dad was going to do steak and vegetables tonight for at least a day in advance. So, sausage with a double portion of instant ramen probably would have been a lot. And if I was going to have this later on. I recall right before having the cut up sausage with French onion dip, taking from the refrigerator some kind of fun-sized 100 grand, that's the name of the brand, a chocolate bar candy. It had been in a refrigerator for a while. And it was a little hard, but otherwise perfectly fine. And then immediately after having the cut up sausage, I had 4 Big Newtons, 2 sets of 2 that were kind of stuck together, and I broke them apart. Broke apart each set individually. It was from a sleeve of Big Newtons that Dad's mom had given us. Months ago. But despite being in the refrigerator for so long, they had never been eaten. And I decided to have those 4 Fig Newtons. As so they wouldn't be wasted. I'm able to beat this campaign mission a decent amount of the time. Not most of the time, as I said during a previous recent my dinner video, but I can beat it some of the time, depending on whether with this ability I'm able to one-shot one of the guard zombies. I think at this point I have to roll pretty close to 300 damage in order to do it, to one-shot the first guard zombie. And yeah, I can't really afford to have one of the guard zombies or one of the other zombie enemies besides this one to get a critical hit against me. Sometimes I decide to run so that I'll be able to use this ability again and hopefully one-shot the guard zombies that's left. And other times I decide to just take one more hit. In this case, I still could. As of now, it just requires some luck for me to be able to beat the campaign mission I'm currently grinding in order to get duct tape. I can one-shot a guard zombie enemy using just my standard attack, but I basically have to roll the maximum damage I can do currently for that to be the case. Either that or get a critical against that guard zombie, but it doesn't happen terribly often. Every now and then, but not terribly often. At a couple points during the morning and afternoon hours, I noticed, viewing through a window, that it was snowing outside. Today marks the first time to my recollection that we got any snowfall more significant than sprinkling of snow. In my room here is currently a little cold, but otherwise feels room temperature to me. And that's how it's felt for throughout today, generally.